Hello students, welcome to Sri Classes, lecture number 7, chapter number 12, electricity. We will solve some important numericals. I will take up about 15-16 important numericals, and then we will look at the numericals given in the exemplar book also. So let us start the important numericals. First one, case A. Consider a conductor of length L and cross section area A. So R equals rho L by A. Now let us increase the length of the same wire, same conductor. Let us increase the length of this conductor by 2 times. Means, what I mean by this is basically, I am taking the metal wire which is made up of this material, twice the length of this. Material is same, meaning rho here is same. I hope you are understanding. Rho depends upon the nature of material. Here the nature of material is same. I am considering one more conductor which is of the same wire as of this wire, but its length is 2 times. So L dash equals 2L, cross section area remains same. There is no change in the cross section area. So in this case, what is R dash equals? Rho L dash by A, rho 2 times L by A, 2 times rho L by A, which equals 2 times R. Therefore, here I will write for this one, R dash equals 2 times R. Case B, let me consider one conductor of cross section area A and length L. Let us increase the cross section area here. Let the length remain same, but cross section area will increase it. So this is also L here, and A dash equals 2 times A, L dash equals L, length is same, cross section area is 2 times. So R equals rho L by A, R dash equals rho L, L dash is L, divided by A dash is 2A, which equals half times rho L by A, which is half R. So if the length remains same, if the area of the cross section is twice, then the new resistance R dash equals half the original resistance. Half the original resistance. This is the conclusion for this. Another 2 cases are there. First you note it down, and then I list down another 2 cases. I hope you have noted down. Case C. Case C is, we are increasing the length and decreasing the area of the cross section. Let us see here. Case C. Let the length of the conductor be L. A is the cross section area. What we will do now? We will increase the length to twice and decrease the cross section area to half. See here. This is how. What is the length of this conductor? L dash equals twice the length. A dash equals half the area of the initial cross section area. So here R equals rho L by A, R dash equals rho L dash by A dash, rho L dash is 2L divided by A by 2, which equals 4 times rho L by A, which equals 4 times R. Therefore, r dash equals 4 times r. So if the length is increased by twice and the cross section area is reduced to the half, then r dash will be equal to 4 times the original resistance. New resistance will be equal to 4 times the resistance. Here everywhere rho I am keeping same. The meaning of rho being same over here is that the material, nature of material is same. Both the conductors are made up of same material. One more case, case D. Let me check it. Yeah, when the wire is stretched, very important. When the wire is stretched, the case being when the wire is stretched, what happens when the wire is stretched? See, the volumetric ratio remains constant. For example, whenever you must have observed in a rubber band, when you stretch the rubber band, its length increases and the cross section area simultaneously decreases. But what about the volume there? Volume remains constant. Volume does not change. So volume of before and after stretching of a rubber band, the volume remains constant. And therefore, let us see here, when the wire is stretched, what is that is going to happen? When the wire is stretched, basically, volumetric ratio remains constant. Volumetric ratio remains constant. What do you mean by volumetric ratio remains constant? Before stretching and after stretching. Volumetric ratio remains constant before stretching. Volume before equals volume after. The meaning of this is area into length is volume. Area into length is volume. As volume remains same, what is that is going to happen basically here is, if L is stretched to twice its length, then cross section area decreases to A by 2. If the length is increased to 3 times, then the cross section area decreases to A by 3. If length increases to 4 times the original length, then cross section area decreases to 1/4 of the original area. So this is how the proportionality holds good. Meaning the volumetric ratio remains constant. For example, what is the volume here? Area into length. Area into length is the volume basically of any material, of any shape basically. So area into length is this. Multiply these two, what happens? 2L into A by 2. 2L into A by 2. 2 cancels, once again AL. So volume before and after stretching remains constant. Here also you can check it. Length into area is volume. 4L into A by 4 is also volume. L by AL equals AL. And therefore, very important, if the length is stretched to twice its original length, then the cross section area decreases by half. So in this case, what happens? Let us see here. Let me take a conductor. The length is A, cross section area is A. This is stretched to twice its length. When it is stretched to twice its length, L dash equals 2L. So what about A dash? It reduces to half the original cross section area, A by 2. So what is R equals here? Rho L by A. R dash equals rho L dash by A dash, which is rho L dash is 2L divided by A by 2, which equals 2 goes up 4 times rho L by A, which equals 4 times R, and therefore R dash equals 4R. These are the cases which you must know, and we'll proceed to the next sum. These cases are most important. You may get 1 mark questions or MCQs based on this one. I hope you have understood. Let me take up the next numerical. We are going to discuss about 16-17 important numericals, and see here, henceforth when I discuss, it involves the concepts of some proportions, constants, etc. Those students who would be able to understand the proportionalities, constants and all, etc., the conceptual meaning, those are the ones who can understand. But rest of you can also, watch multiple times and try to grasp the concept basically, and try to understand this. That is my request to all of you. Please note it down. I hope you have noted down. Let us see here. One question is there. There are two bulbs which are connected in series, 60 watt 60 watt 220 volts, 100 watt 220 volts in series combination. We have to compare when these, okay, I'll put the question like this. We have two bulbs, 60 watts, 220 volts, 100 watts, 220 volts. If we connect them in series, which glows brighter? If we connect them in parallel, which grows brighter? It is a conceptual working, but in order to work out, let us calculate actually the powers basically, and then see which grows brighter in which case. Let's see here. Here the question is, bulb A and B, 60 watts 220 volts, 100 watts 220 volts. These are the power ratings. Once we have connected in series and once we have connected in parallel combination. Question asked is, which glows brighter? Which glows brighter? Let us see. So what is the hint here? The one which consumes more power glows brighter. You must have gone to some electrical shops and asked there for the bulbs. Give me a 25 watts bulb, give me 20 watts bulb, give me 12 watts bulb and all. The meaning over here is, more the wattage of the bulb, it glows brighter. So keep it in mind that if the wattage consumed by the bulb is more, then it glows brighter. So in that case, with that concept, let us see here. First I am connecting these two bulbs in series, and I have to calculate the power consumed by bulb A, power consumed by bulb A. Let me actually calculate this one and calculate the power of A, power of B. How do you calculate? First, I should calculate current I over here. Is it right? If I know I, power equals I square RA. RA and RB let me calculate first. And power consumed by A is I square into RA, and power consumed by B is I square into RB. So first I should know I here, current, also the resistances of these two bulbs. So power rating is given, RA equals V square by PA, 220 volts, the whole square. This resistance is being calculated based on the power rating, 220 volts square divided by power A, 60 watts, which equals, I have already worked out, this is 220 into 220 divided by 60, which gives me 806.67 ohms. 806.67 ohms. Similarly, resistance B is, P is equal to V square by R, R is equal to V square by P, V square divided by PB, 220 the whole square divided by 100 watts, which equals 220 into 220 divided by 100, 484 ohms. Okay, so these two are connected in series, therefore RS equals RA plus RB, 806.67 plus 484, which equals, say, 10, 6 plus 4, 10, 1, 1290.67 ohms. So 1290. 290.67 ohms. So therefore, by applying Ohm's law, V equals I into Rs, and therefore I equals V divided by Rs. 220 divided by Rs is 1290.67. So this will give you 220 divided by 1290.67, about 0.17 amps. So current is 0.17 amps. Once if I calculate the current over here, power consumed through resistance or the bulb A is PA equals I square into R. Why I am not taking V over here? Because the voltage is different in series combination, whereas current remains same, resistance also remains same, and hence what I am doing here is basically power is equal to I square into R. Otherwise I should know, if I want to apply the formula power equals VI, I should calculate voltage drop across each, and then only it is possible to calculate the power equals V into I. But I know that power is equal to I square R, I remains same in both the cases, I is a constant, and therefore that and the resistance. So PA is equal to I square into RA. What is I square? 0.17. RA is 806.67. 806.67. Therefore PA equals 0.17 into 0.17 into 806.67, which will give me 23.31 watts. So 23.31 watts. Similarly, power B equals I square into RB, which is 0.17 the whole square into 1290.67, and PB equals, it will give me about 13.98 watts. 13.98 watts. So from this I can compare. Definitely the power of the bulb is 23.31 watts when it is connected to a 220 volt source, and these two are connected in series combination. Power B is 13.98. Therefore PA is greater than PB. Therefore bulb A glows brighter. Bulb A glows brighter. This is my answer here. See, in this case, whether bulb A glows brighter or bulb B glows brighter, in order to understand that, let us compare the resistance of these two bulbs and how the power is related to the resistance. Every time if you do all these calculations, it is very difficult to understand, and therefore my request for you should be something like this. The conclusion, this small area I am writing down, how to draw the conclusion from this. See, you can calculate the resistance of these two bulbs based on the power rating first. Okay, we have calculated RA as resistance A. What is that? I write here itself. Resistance A 806.67 ohms, and resistance B is 484 ohms. Now, resistance of A is 806.67 ohms, 484 ohms. So here I will write once again, RA is greater than RB, is it not? What about power? We know power is equal to IR square, meaning power is directly proportional to the resistance. Here, why I am not considering Ri here? I remains constant. The constant need not be considered at all. Therefore, power, if I is a constant, power is directly proportional to the resistance. And therefore, more the resistance of the bulb, more is the power over here, and hence that bulb glows brighter. Is it clear? And therefore, by logic, what I can do here is, RA, RB you calculate, then say that the power consumed by power is directly proportional to the resistance, and hence the one which glows brighter is the one that is having more resistance. So this way you can conclude it. A very important concept here. Now let me compare the same by connecting in parallel combination. 60 watts, 100 watts, these two are connected in parallel combination. Both voltage remains same here, 220 volts. 220 volts is the source voltage, but the power rating voltage also same, 220 volts. In this case, this is simple. Whichever is having more wattage glows brighter. Means in this case, this glows brighter. In this case, this A glows brighter. I hope you are understanding. In this, why 100 watt glows brighter? Because the power rating voltage is also 220 volts and 220 volt source is given. In parallel combination, the same source voltage remains same across each resistor, and hence 220 volts remains here also, 220 volts remains here also. Therefore, directly you can say the one which is having higher power rating glows brighter. 100 watts candle is 100 watts bulb is more powerful than 60 watts, and voltage is also same. Therefore, it glows brighter. I hope you have understood here the important concepts. Only thing my concern is, if these two are connected in series, one more small point I would like to add. See, without calculating the resistance, it may be difficult for you. After calculating the resistance, you can apply this concept. But also you can see 60 watt 220 volts. How do you calculate the this thing? Resistance is equal to V square by P. So R is again inversely proportional to power here. Here power is directly proportional to R, but here R is inversely proportional to power. Why is it a controversy? It is not a controversy. Please remember, we are calculating the resistance based on power rating over here. And finally, this formula we are considering because voltage drop is different in both the bulbs. What remains constant? I remains constant. Therefore, that is kept constant and directly power is proportional to R over here. But here what happens basically, in order to calculate RA and RB, here based on the power rating we are calculating. So in power rating, RA is inversely proportional to power. So voltage remains constant in both the cases. So R and PA are inversely proportional. So lesser power, more resistance. More power, less resistance. Check here. Lesser power, more resistance, 806.67. More power, less resistance. So the one which is having lesser power will glow brighter in case of series connection. Please remember this. I think I have discussed enough on this. I hope you know this. So let me take up the next question. Meantime, let me clear the board. Let us look at the third sum. It says a wire of resistance R equals 16 ohm is bent in the shape of a square. Calculate the effective resistance of the circuit if the potential difference is applied across its diagonal ends and ends of the edges of a side. So, case number 1. Case number 1. This is how the wire is bent in the shape of a square here. The wire is bent in the shape of a square. And where is the potential difference applied? Potential difference means voltage. Voltage is applied across the diagonal ends here. These are the two diagonal ends here. So A and B are the terminals. Across AB, the potential difference is applied. Across AB, the voltage is applied. Question is, calculate the effective resistance of this circuit. If at all L is the length of this wire, then if it is bent in the shape of a square, then each side will be L by 4. So the resistance of wire length L equals 16 ohms. The resistance of each piece or the resistance of each side of a square, which is nothing but the length is L by 4. Therefore, R also the resistance of each segment will be 1/4 the resistance of the original value. See, resistance is directly proportional to the length. If the length is decreased by 1/4, the resistance also decreases to 1/4 of the original value. Hence, the length is divided into 4 equal parts, isn't it? 4 sides of a square means 4 equal parts. So, the resistance of each segment will be 1/4 of 16, which is 4 ohms. So total length of the wire resistance 16 ohms. Each segment is 4 ohms, 4 ohms, 4 ohms and 4 ohms. Therefore, how should I write here? I will write here length of each segment of a square, length of each side of square equals L by 4. Therefore, resistance of each side equals, let me name this one, R1, R2, R3 and R4. Okay, R1, R2, R3, R4. Side R1 equals, R2 equals, R3 equals, R4 equals 16 by 4, which is 4 ohms. So each resistance will be 4 ohms, 4 ohms, 4 ohms, and this is also 4 ohms. If L is the length, each side will be 1/4 of the L, and therefore if resistance is 16, each segment resistance will be 1/4. Now, these are connected like this. Question is, what is the effective resistance if the potential difference is applied across A and B? R1, R2 in series, therefore RS equals R1 plus R2, which is nothing but 4 plus 4, 8 ohms. Now, R3 and R4 are in series. RS1 I'll make it, because these two are also in series, these two are also series, both together is a parallel combination. These two are in series, these two are in series, both put together, these are parallel combination. R3, R4 series, therefore RS2 equals R1, R2, R3, R4, which equals 8 ohms. RS2 equals 8 ohms. Now, these two are in parallel combination. RS1 and RS2 are in parallel combination. If these two are parallel combination, if effective resistance is Rp equals RS1 into RS2 divided by RS1 plus RS2, which equals 8 into 8 divided by 8 plus 8, which is 64 divided by 16, which is 4. So Rp is 4 ohms. Therefore, equivalent resistance of the circuit equals R equivalent equals 4 ohms. Let me check the answer. Yeah, it is correct. So when we connect these things in series, this is the one which is correct one. Please note it down. I'll take the second case now. If the ends of the edges, if these two are connected across the ends of the edges of a side, please note it down. I hope you have noted down. Case 2 I will consider. See, I'll try to take the shortcuts over here. Detailed writing will be taking a lot of time consumption. Probably if I take a shortcuts over here, I'll be able to discuss more and more numericals. Only I'll be explaining. Please focus attentively. I'll be explaining a lot, but writing a very short, limited content, so that you'll understand that one. Okay. Otherwise, writing each and everything, it is consuming a lot of programs. I have still about 30-40 numericals to be discussed. I hope you understand that. So let me take the second one. Case 2. It is connected. It is the wire is bent in the shape of square. Once again. So these are connected. The PD is applied at the end of the edge. So this is the edge over here. Here the PD is applied. What is the PD? Potential difference is nothing but the voltage is applied over here. Let me name this one R1, R2, R3 and R4. as the length is divided into 1/4, resistance also is divided to the 1/4 of the original value, so which is say 4 ohms. Therefore, R1 equals R2 equals R3 equals R4 equals 16 by 4, which equals 4 ohms. Now look at this combination now. Potential difference is applied across the ends of one of the sides here. Here it is applied. Therefore, R2, R3, R4 are in series combination, and put together that one is in parallel combination with R1. So R2, R3, R4 in series, and therefore Rs equals this plus this plus this, each is 4 ohms. 4 plus 4 plus 4, 4 plus 4, 8 plus 4, 12 ohms. So Rs is 12 ohms, all this put together. All this put together, it is in parallel combination with R1. Now Rs1 and R4, R1 are in parallel combination. Therefore, equivalent resistant Rp equals Rs into R1 divided by Rs plus R1. What is Rs here? 12 ohms. 12 ohms into R1 is 4 ohms divided by 12 plus 4, which equals 48 divided by 16, which equals 3, and therefore Rp equals 3 ohms. And therefore the question is effective resistance or equivalent resistance. R equivalent equals Rp equals 3 ohms. This is the answer. Okay. Next, we'll go to the next question. Meantime, I'll clear the board. Please note it down. Here we'll see the interesting question. A wire of resistance R equals 9 ohm is bent in the shape of an equilateral triangle. Find the effective resistance of the circuit if the potential difference is applied across the ends of one of the sides. Here, length is the L, and if L is the length, that wire is bent in the shape of a triangle. What kind of triangle? Equilateral triangle. R is 9 ohms. In equilateral triangle, all the three sides are equal. Therefore, each length will be the length of each side will be 1/3 its original length, and therefore R is also 1/3 the original value, which is each side of the triangle will have a resistance equal to 9 divided by 3, which is 3 ohms. Let me explain through the diagram. This is how the diagram looks like. These are A, B, C here. AB plus BC plus AC is equal to L. Total ohms is 9 ohms, but individual length will be 1/3 because there are 3 equal parts. So this is R1, R2, R3, isn't it? Where the potential difference is applied across the ends of one of the sides. Which side shall I take it here? BC. Here I will take. Here the potential difference is applied. This one. So here R1 equals R2 equals R3 equals the length of each segment of the equilateral triangle is 1/3 the length of the original length, and therefore the resistance also will be 1/3 the original value, which is 9 by 3, which equals 3 ohms. Why it is so? Because resistance is directly proportional to length. If the length is reduced to half, resistance is half. If the length is increased to 3 times, resistance also 3 times. Therefore, R1 equals R2 equals R3 equals 3 ohms over here. Okay. What is the equivalent resistance of this circuit basically? See here, these two are on the same path, therefore in series, and this combination put together with R1 is in parallel combination. Please listen, R2, R3 are in series, and the combined resistance is in parallel with R1. Therefore, I write here R2 and R3 in series, and therefore Rs equals R2 plus R3, 3 plus 3, which equals 6 ohms. Rs equals 6 ohms. Rs, which is equivalent of these two, and R1 is in parallel combination. And therefore Rp equals Rs into R1 divided by Rs plus R1, which equals 6 into 3 divided by 6 plus 3, 18 divided by 9, which equals 2 ohms. Therefore, R equivalent equals Rp equals 2 ohms. I hope you are able to understand. This is how we calculate the equivalent resistance of the circuit over here. A small thing, sometimes you will get one more, there's a totally different numerical. Here itself I will explain. See, resistance will be given to you, and here they will connect one more resistor. Like this. So this is R1, R2, R3, R4. First what you can do is R3, R4 in parallel combination, work out that one. That one, Rp and R2 will be in series combination, and the put together will be in parallel combination with R1. Once again, R3, R4 in parallel combination. So Rp and R2 are in series combination. Put together, that is that one, and R1 is in parallel combination. So I hope you understood. You can work out that. Okay. Let's go to the next problem. Let me clear the board. Yeah, we will go to the next problem. Here it is. A wire of resistance R, 10 ohms, is bent in the shape of a circle basically. Calculate the effective resistance if the potential difference is applied across the diagonal ends. So here, look here, a wire of length L, it is bent in the shape of a circle. You understood? And the potential difference is applied across the diametrical ends like this. This is A and B, across which the potential difference is applied. This is the meaning of potential difference applied here. Okay. Now, this is having a resistance, and this is having a resistance here. If the circle is bent in the form of a wire is bent in the shape of a circle, from here to here half the length, from here to here half the length, put together L basically. So, what is the resistance of this half? Half of the original value, because length is half. Therefore, if I mention this as R1, 10 by 2 equals 5 ohms, and R2, which equals 10 by 2, which equals 5 ohms. So here R1 equals R2 equals 10 by 2, which is 5 ohms. Why it is 5 ohms? From here to here the length is half the original length, and therefore resistance is also half the original value. R1, R2 equals this. Look at these two are the, and here across the diametrical ends the potential difference is applied. Therefore R1 and R2 are in parallel combination. R1, R2 in parallel combination. And therefore Rp equals R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2, which equals, how much is this? 5. 5 into 5 divided by 5 plus 5, which is 25 divided by 10, which is 2.5 ohms. Therefore R equivalent equals Rp equals 2.5 ohms. That's correct. Okay, please note it down. Dear students, here we have a very typical problem here. This is the arrangement of resistors in a particular combination, and you have been asked to find out the equivalent resistance of this circuit. So how do you find out now? I will say all these three, R1, R2, R3 are in parallel combination. But how do you understand that all these are parallel combination? See here, a small modification I am doing so that you will come to know about that. I have written the junctions, basically I have written A, C, D, B. Potential difference is applied across A and B. Question is, what is the effective resistance of this electrical circuit? See here, let me take two terminals A and this is B here. I hope you are understanding. A and B, let me draw this one point here. A here, B here. These are the N terminals. In between we have some resistors. Is it right? Okay. A and this wire A, it is going up to D here, meaning point A is same as this point, also same as point D, meaning A and D are same here, basically only one wire. From the diagram it is just going like this. In between any resistors? No. Therefore A and D are one and single point basically. So A and D are same. Similarly C and B are same here. Check here. This C, it is coming like this. So whether you write B everywhere over here or C everywhere over here, both are same points. And therefore B and C, these are the terminals. I have located AD this side, BC this side. Now between A and C, R1 is there. Between A and C, R1 is there. Correct? Between C and D, R2 is there. Between C and D, R2 is there. Between D and B, R3 is there. D and B, R3 is there. This is R1, R2, R3. What does it indicate? Between A and B, if the PD is applied, all these three are in parallel combination. So effective resistance, here I cannot apply that formula which is which I was earlier using. Rp equals 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. I hope it is clear and you are understanding. Okay, please note it down. Dear students, one more typical problem. Here the question is, find out the effective resistance of this circuit when the PD is applied across A and B. And remember, here it's very important concept. Please listen to the problem very carefully here. You can solve this problem if you know the values of all these resistances, and also this should obey for your standard, basically for 10 standard, this circuit should obey some rule. Then only we can simplify and we can work out. So there is one condition here, please remember. What is that condition? R1 by R2. The condition is, if I put here R1 by R2 equals R3 by R4. If this condition is met, or R1 by R3 equals R2 by R4, R1 by R3 equals R1 by R3 equals R2 by R4. This by this equals this by this, or this by this equals this by this. If this condition is met, then this circuit will reduce to, simply this way. What happened to the middle resistance? See, if this condition is obeyed, that means the potential at F and potential at H remain same. The voltage at F and the voltage at H remain same. Meaning the difference in potential or the potential difference in the segment FH is zero. If there is no potential difference, which is equal to electric pressure difference, there is no flow of charge, meaning there is no flow of current through this middle segment, and hence I can assume R5 to be a dummy resistor. And therefore, if this condition is met, in that case the central resistor becomes dummy over here. Important meaning, what is the meaning here? R5 equals dummy. It is as good as not connected at all. In this case, this is simple to work out. Therefore, R1 and R2 are in series. Therefore, RS1 equals R1 plus R2. Similarly, RS2 equals R3 plus R4. R3 plus R4. Effective resistance will be this set and this set will be in parallel combination. 1 by Rp equals 1 by RS1 plus 1 by RS2, or Rp equals RS1 into RS2 divided by RS1 plus RS2. This is how it's going to. So basically, once again I'll tell you, in this case you check the condition here, R1 by R2 should be equal to R3 by R4. Even if one condition is met, then the central resistor will become dummy resistor. So you can remove this one. Why you can remove? Because the potential at F and H becomes same. If the potential at F and H is same, there is no potential difference across the length FH, and therefore there is no current which can flow through this R5. Hence R5 can be considered to be a dummy resistor. You can remove that one and solve rest of the circuit by this way to get Rp equals Rs1 Rs2, and this is nothing but R equivalent basically. This is how we have to work out. Generally, what will be the examples for this? Say for example, this will be 2 ohm, 2 ohm, 2 ohm. Everywhere it is 2 ohms. So 2 by 2 equals 2 by 2, or 2 by 2 equals 2 by 2. I hope you are understanding. So note down this, important. Here let me take one more very typical sum here. See, it is the extension of the previous sum which I considered. These are the two terminals across which the potential difference is applied. R1, before that, if this is a given circuit, these two are in series, these two are in series, both together in parallel combination, you can work out very easily. Now I am modifying this circuit a little bit. I am connecting one more here, this way, parallel combination. These two are parallel combination. Also, this way, one more resistor in parallel combination. Similar to the above cases, here also it is parallel combination and one more resistor here. All these are in parallel combination. So let me name it R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, R7, R8. Consider R1 to R8 equals 2 ohms. Find effective resistance. Effective resistance if PD is applied across A and B. That is the question here. So all these are in this is the circuit diagram given to you. These two are in parallel, these two are in parallel, put together in series. These two are in parallel, these two are in parallel, put together in series. Finally, this branch and this branch in parallel to each other. So I am writing here now how to solve this one. Please listen carefully. R1, R5 in parallel combination. R1 and R5 parallel. Therefore, Rp1 equals R1 into R5 divided by R1 plus R5, which equals all these are 2 ohms. 2 ohms. 2 into 2 divided by 2 plus 2, which equals 4 by 4, which is 1 ohm. Similarly, R2 and R6 in parallel, and therefore Rp2 equals same thing, this into this divided by this plus this, which is nothing but, I write here, R2 into R6 divided by R2 plus R6, which equals 4 divided by 4, which is 1 ohm. And next, these two R4, R8 in parallel, Rp3 equals 1 ohm. Finally, R3 and R7 Okay, so finally I have got RP1, RP2, RP3, RP4 or each 1 ohm here. That means RP1, RP2, RP3, RP4, isn't it? So RP1, RP2, these two are in series combination. RP3, RP4, these two are in series combination. So I write that one. RP1, what is RP1? This combination, and RP2, this combination in series. Therefore, RS1 equals RP1 plus RP2. RP1 is how much? 1. RP2, 1. So 1 plus 1, which equals 2 ohms. Similarly, RP3 and RP4 are in series combination, and therefore RS2 equals ohms. So finally, these entire resistors have been clubbed together to form RS1, and these two have been clubbed together from RS2. So what is RS1? 2 ohms. What is RS2? 2 ohms. And these two are in parallel combination. Now RS1 and RS2 in parallel, and therefore effective resistance or R equivalent is equal to RS1 into RS2 divided by RS1 plus RS2, which equals 1. Therefore R equivalent equals 1 ohm. The entire circuit equivalent resistance is 1 ohm. I hope you are understanding here. Please note it down. Few more circuits have been indicated over here. Let us look at this. 9 ohms connected in parallel combination, 9 ohm here. This one, this one, this one. So what is the effective resistance of this if the PD is applied across A and B? That is the question. These two are in parallel combination with series combination. These two are in parallel combination. Put together, this is a series combination. Is that it? So do you understand that? So these two are in series parallel combination, and this is in series combination with this one. Now let us look at, or you want me to solve here. See here, these two are in parallel combination. RP equals 9 into 9 divided by 9 plus 9. 81 divided by 18, which equals 2, 9. So 9 by 2 ohms. Now RP and this one 9 ohm are in series basically. So RS equals 9 by 2 plus 9, which equals 2 here, 1 this is 9 plus 18, 27 by 2 ohms. That is the equivalent resistance of the circuit, 27 by 2 ohms. Let me check the answer. 27 by 2 ohms. Yes. Next one. Potential difference is applied across end terminals A and B. This is the circuit diagram. This is the same path, but it is taking a turns. Therefore, all these resistors are in series combination, and that combination along with these two in parallel combination. See here, R3, R4, R5, R6 series combination, R1, R2 series combination. This put together in parallel combination. I hope you understand. Next, here these two are in parallel, these two are in parallel. So this one, this entire thing, this one, this entire thing, and this, all these are in series combinations. I hope you are able to understand how to solve these numericals. Okay, so please note it down. These are very typical. You have to try yourself. You take everywhere R equals 2 ohms, everywhere R equals 2 ohms, and calculate. I think you take these two as an assignments, and all resistors. Two ohms, and calculate it. Okay, for your information, all these are in series, these two are in series, RS1, RS2 in parallel combination, RP1, RP2, R1, RP1, R2, RP2, R3. All these are series combination. Hope you have understood. Okay, please note it down. One more very typical sum here. This is a circuit diagram given to you. You have to find the ammeter reading in this case. The meaning of finding out ammeter reading is nothing but the current through the entire circuit is what you have to find out. So let me do the naming ceremony first, and R1, R2, R3, R4, R5. Now R1 and R2 are in series. Therefore RS1 equals RS1. I will take RS1 equals six ohms. This RS1 and this R3 are in parallel combination. Therefore RP equals RS1 into R3 divided by RS1 plus R3, which equals RS1 is how much? 6. R3 3. 6 into 3 divided by 6 plus 3, 18 divided by 9, which equals 2 ohms. So all this put together is a 2 ohms. R4, then this RP and R5 in series combination. Now R4 and this entire combination is RP and R5 in series, and therefore RS2 equals, RS1 I have used already, and therefore RS2 equals R4 plus RP plus R5. R4 is how much? 0.5 plus RP 2 plus 0.5, which equals 3 ohms. Therefore RS2 equals 3 ohms. This is the equivalent resistance, 3 ohms. Now you have to find out the current over here. By Ohm's law, V equals I into RS. So I equals V divided by RS. RS or R equivalent, both are same now. RS2 I write here, or R equivalent. Therefore voltage is how much? 3 volt divided by R equivalent is how much? R equivalent is 3 ohm, which equals 1 amps. Therefore current through the circuit is 1 amp. So this is what it indicates. 1 amp is the answer for this. I hope you are understanding. I have solved many numericals. I will take up few more important numericals from exemplar in the I'll continue probably in this lecture. Let me check up the timings, and probably I'll continue in this, or I'll make the end this session and make a new one. Let me decide, and probably I would like to keep this as the last lecture. Let's see what we can do. Okay. For the time being, let me end the session. Thank you.